Then you put it.
You've been going on for how many minutes?
4 minutes.
Oh, please.
How many minutes?
Please.
It's more than 20 minutes. It's more than 20 minutes.
Okay,
you see, it is interesting that Sly says use the percentages. Don't use the
because I thought that was a bit problematic.
I have not run away from the fact that in 2008, Ghana's debt stock was 9.2 billion. Fact. When the NDC was handing over in 2016, Ghana's debt stock was 120 billion. Fact. Today, as we speak, our debt stock 600 billion. Fact.
You say you percentage.
But I won't use percentage. Why? When he sends his wife to the market, does his wife buy food stuff?
The average change in percentage
does his
affect your pocket. That doesn't.
Nominal figures. You don't go and stand there and say, David,
so the size of the economy in 2016
cocoa and beans 4%, 3%. No.
Remind him of the size.
No, get Mohammed Amo 4%. You speak about figures. So let's speak figures. But John Mahama moving the debt stock from 9.2 billion to 120 billion. You have Tema to Mpakadan Railway that you and your government is claiming credit for. The cost of that railway is part of the 120 billion.
It's pre-2017.
It is.
Once it's approved by
Parliament. It was approved by Parliament in 2016.
The drawdowns.
No. That's not how our debt is calculated.
Please.
If you don't know, learn.
No, please don't make that statement.
Our debt portfolio is calculated based on loan agreements from Parliament and when they are approved. That is how it is done.
It is not.
Once a loan is approved by Parliament, it is added to our debt stock.
I leave you with this to check.
Sly,
People are watching.
You are being disrespectful to our viewers.
So disrespectful.
When you are speaking, I'm quiet. Stop being rowdy.
This is the last bite of it.
Stop being rowdy.
You can check this. You can check this on this show before we leave here.
I hope my time is not going.
He's gone.
You know he's interjecting.
Quelle attention, Pokwasi interchange, the drawdown, the facility for Pokwasi interchange was approved under the NDC and is part of the 120 billion. Obechebi Lamte phase 1, approved under the NDC, part of the 120 billion. Tema interchange, part of the 120 billion. Kumasi Airport, part of the 120 billion. Yes, Kumasi Airport phase 1, part of the 120 billion. Tamale Airport, phase 1, phase 2, part of the 120 billion. KJTR Market, part of the 120 billion. Terminal 3, 120 billion. Ridge Hospital, 120 billion. University of Ghana Medical Center, 120 billion. I mean, MPS, Tema Port Expansion, 120 billion. Regional Maritime Hospital, 120 billion. Bank of Ghana Hospital, 120 billion.
Did you talk about MPS?
Those loans, all of those loans, and MPS. All of the infrastructure that we have seen, 120 billion. Now, somebody has moved from 120 billion to 600 million. What do we see? 600 billion. What do you have to show?
There's 3 SHS, 1 district, 1 factory.
Imbra, when you tell me B5 and Kasaprekwa 1D, 1F, you insult my intelligence.
They're on your road.
Yes, and that's why we know that they were there before your government came.
Oh.
When you tell me that from 120 billion to 600 billion, you have nothing to show me but free SHS. When free SHS has cost us only 10 billion Ghana cedis. Where is the money you have borrowed? All we can see is you flying in private jets and doing sawabroni. Apart from that, what have you used the money for? And when we talk, charlatans and miscreants are unhappy that we expose the rot in government. Those in government who have mismanaged the economy.
Are you saying that's infuriating slide?
We must show them that we are angry that they have raped the public purse.
They have done what?
They have raped the public purse. In Chi, they will say, "What to public purse no muna." They have raped the public purse and stolen it.
Has done what in Chi?
What to public purse no muna?
Oh,
look. People say I've always accused successive governments of stealing from the purse. They have stolen the purse, and when they have stolen it, they say keep quiet, don't talk. How can you look? People lost money under this government. People lost money. Part 1, financial sector cleanup. Part 2, debt exchange. Now you are going for people's pensions, and you say we should not talk. You say why are we angry? I mean, look, you sit back and you ask yourself that, is it that they are clueless, or they are reckless, or they are incompetent?
Which people?
Or they are insensitive? The solid team. Bawumia and Kenoforiata. Piccadilly thieves.
These are the words you are using as slices.
When they call John Mahama names, why? John Mahama is his diesel that runs through his veins.
Like I said,
that's in the past.
What is in the past?
Don't repeat.
We will use your marking scheme to mark you. When Bawumia was standing there and was trying to audition for Ghana's Got Talent, drivers are suffering, teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering. Today, what are they doing? Are they enjoying? You have gone after pensioners' money. And you say that, you see, for me, like I said, it's the arrogance. If Bawumia was anybody who feared God, he would not even aspire to run for office. None of the economic management team members, whether it is Alan or Bawumia, none of them will even dare to run for office in this country.
Why not?
After this mess that so-called solid team had created. You say John Mahama moved from 9.2 billion to 120 billion. Yes. I've shown you what that money was used for. They should tell us what 120 billion to 600 billion, almost 400 billion, 380 billion has been used for. These are the things that we need to know, because you cannot tell me that after we have entrusted a public person to your hands, and what you have done is to go for loans and use your own company to run the loans and make profit off our loans. So you have saddled my parents, you've saddled my child. Any child who is born as we speak now at Konfanoche or Kolebu owes 20,000 Ghana cedis just because they were born in Ghana, because of you. Roland, not you, your government. You understand me? And so at the end of the day, when you have this colossal mess, people, look, I know people, somebody has just walked into the studio. I know she has a restaurant. Ask her how much she was buying a gallon of Kufuor gallon of oil.
She's suffering.
How?
She has never exhibited.
The way she's crying inside. You see, in Dangbe we have what you say.
No,
you see, people are doing packaging, but people are dying, people are crying. Because, look, you run a business, a cooking business. Food business is one business they say you never make loss. Now, only under Kufuor and Bawumia, people are making losses. Because you go and buy oil, a gallon of oil that you were buying at 220 cedis. You go the next week, it is 400 cedis. True. The following week, you come back, it is 650 Ghana cedis.
You're making losses?
Now you are buying it at 1,500. Tomatoes. We sent somebody to La Paz. They are selling one tomato that is not as big as my fist, 5 cedis in this country. I'm telling you, 4 for 20 Ghana. How? What is all how? Chief, look, people are suffering. People are suffering in this country. And then people are living like Arabian Nights. And when you talk, they say, men kasa, me this year. Me one share. Look, they should not annoy us in this country. If you are incompetent, at least show humility. And show that you have empathy. But don't be arrogant about it. And you tell us that you've written a letter and we should take it serious. Those who took you serious and decided to do the bond exchange, when their coupons were due, did you pay them? Those who agreed in December.
They picketed last week. Yeah.
When it was due, did they pay? Did Ken pay? So if those who agreed to the last government arrangement under this debt exchange, they were due to be paid in February. We are in April. They've not been paid. And now they are telling you are telling pensioners. I told you, again, I go back. Mind that, God bless you. 46 years of marriage yesterday. My father is almost 90. Now if he has government bonds, you are telling him he should wait to 2037. So now you are giving me another assignment that now my fasting and prayer should be that God should keep my father alive to get his money. Because you have gone. You've left government. You are moving pensioners who may have 5-10 years to live. You are moving some of their repayments to 20 years. Right now, people should be putting in their will, my government bond, I will it to my great-grandchild forever. By the time he gets it, it is worth toilet paper. Because at this inflation rate, the money is useless.
Sam, it's okay. What did you drink?
It can't be okay, Roland.
What did you drink this morning?
I haven't even eaten.
Roland,
I'm playing 0-1-0, so I'm waiting for afternoon.
Let me tell you something. You see, this attitude and cutting emotions and all that.
You think that's what he's doing?
Yes, that's exactly what he's doing.
Okay.
He's not discussing. Let me tell you something. He kept asking, what would you do with the money? Let me remind him of John Mohammed's own answers to such a question. That any member of parliament who sits in parliament and approve loans and question government what the money has been used for is not worth being in parliament. These are the answers John Mohammed gave, and I rest it.
Okay. So it means that they were there when the loans and they know it's the specific reason.
I rest my case. I quote right. John Mohammed and unquote.
All right. There's been I've been asked to go for a break, but I want us to have. Okay, so we're wrapping up. We're
wrapping up.
We're closing.
I don't know whether you've heard of
you run away from the Global Info Analytics.
No, I'm asking if we are closing.
The national, the Global Info Analytics, they are a survey entity or company. And they've undertaken some survey which is indicating that voters within the age groups of male and female seem to give low competency ratings to the Akufo-Addo-led government. I don't know what you make of it. I know that you've seen it's been at least discussed on other platforms as well. And particularly, there's even the ethnic groupings, registered and unregistered, what they are talking about, party affiliations and their key concerns. Even those respondents from the governing MPP just give a negative thumbs up to government. What do you make of some of these public opinion surveys? Is that Sly?
Oh,
yes. Or should I go to him?
You want me to go?
I don't mind.
Just relax. Well, just 2 minutes, please.
No
problem. The way you're firing. Just 2 minutes.
Oh no, Global Info Analytics. I'm just opening that thing. Look, they have done a very detailed job, and this is not the first time they're putting stuff out.
Yes. They usually do.
Yeah, and I mean it's simple to just read and get the sense of it. All that matters is if you put together all of the so-called the three front runners in the MPP, Bawumia, his candidate Alan Tremantin, and Kennedy Japan, if you put all of them together and bring them against John Mohammed, they will fail. The Ghanaian people have made up their mind. It is clear that the Ghanaian people see President Mahama as a more credible alternative to any option of the NPP. Look, you even have... Okay, let me just read for you what they said. I'm reading the executive summary.
Yes, please.
And if you read the executive summary, it talks about the fact that for the general elections, JDM leads all the MPP frontrunners. JDM leads AKK, that's Alan Kojo Slice candidate, 54% to 40%, with further 6% intend to vote for someone else. JDM also leads Bawumia, 55% to 38%, 7% intend to vote for someone else. You know, JDM leads Kennedy Oene Japan, 55% to 38%. So all of them, GM keeps them simple because the Ghanaian people see him as a credible alternative. And even if you go into the specifics, the people, the MPP own people, look, voters, 27%, only 27% of voters believe that the party, MPP, can break the 8, while 58% say they cannot. You know, the NDC is predicted to have a majority, and this is even more telling. This is what it says. A majority in the next parliament, if elections are to be held. Because it says approximately 43% of voters intend to vote for NDC parliamentary candidates against 36%
that is if we don't create new constituencies.
On their own. Oh, but even if you create new constituencies, you are not going to import new people. It is still the same Ghanaian people who are just going to be realigned into spaces. You get it? And so it is clear. In fact, listen to what it says. It says, and I'm worried for Slime because it's one of the 137 MPP MPs. The poll revealed that 13% of MPP supporters intend to vote for an NDC parliamentary candidate.
Only 13.
Chief, you call 13% of MPP supporters voting for an NDC parliamentary candidate only? Ask them what they are seeing with 136, 137. And then that will tell you what will happen if you took 13% of 137 MPs out. 10% will be 14. So at least you are talking about 16 seats from the NPP being added to the NDC. That is not going to be...
This
I'm
survey.
reading the survey.
Roland.
Okay, thank you.
It's interesting. And for me, where I sit, this is quite revealing. And the basis of this report, it says if elections are held today, thank God elections will be held in 2024. That's a very good thing for us in the MPP to take. And my candidate, I thank God that this research put my candidate ahead of all the MPP aspirants.
Who's your candidate?
Alan Kojo Chamantin. He's put ahead of all of them in the internal.
You support Alan Kojo Chamantin?
Of course, yes. I support him.
You're one of the renegade people in the...
What are you talking about? I'm not. I'm a board chairman of a state institution. I'm not relegated in government, and he knows. I'm a vice chairman of a committee in parliament. I communicate for the government, but the choice of who leads our party in 2024 is not based on the fact that you have a position today or otherwise. I am not, and people should get it, that I'm not bitter. Not so many people have had opportunity to be a CEO in the first 1 year, 3 months at National Youth Authority. I came into parliament, I've been made a board chairman. So nobody should think for a moment that I've not been given the position, that is why I'm supporting Alan Chamantin. No, it's on the basis of how we can win the next elections. But I'm happy that this report...
So you see him better than Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia,
if the research
the head of
discussing
the economic management.
Is anything to go by, is putting Alan Chamantin, even before he starts his campaign, ahead of all the internal, anybody in the internal.
Even sliders don't believe in Bawumia's performance.
Oh, please.
You see that Bawumia has failed.
Please, stop this.
Bawumia is why you are afraid to say it. You know Bawumia has failed. That's why you support Chamantin. And I salute you.
It's an internal contest.
I salute him for being able
thank you very much.
to call
Sylvester Tete is Member of Parliament, Botiano English Amamko, Ningo Prampra Member of Parliament, who has been going around, even went to Ketu.
Not in town.
Okay, where
Edem
Agbana is contesting with Dr. Agumenu as well, and I'm told one Tanko as well, who is also very popular in the area. So it's a 3-horse race, but they've been giving support to many of the candidates as well. But we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have Talented Kids winner also in the studio, or try to have some conversation around the contest itself. And then also we'll have some great insights into many other related matters. Stay with us, we'll be right back.